My name is Samir Tartir. I'm a Palestinian refugee from the town of Lud that was occupied by Israeli soldiers in 1948. And I've been living my life in different countries since then, which is the case for most Palestinian refugees. But most of my life I spent in Jordan. What Israel has did is put 1.5 million people and surrounded them in Gaza, and now started to bomb them just like fishing in a fish tank. It's unbelievable.
Hamas uses schools, they use hospitals, they use apartment buildings to hide their military infrastructure. The only way for Israel to go in and to accomplish its set goals is to go on with the ground offensive.
The small amounts of aid allowed in by the Israelis is a pitiful gesture in the face of such an overwhelming humanitarian crisis. You have confirmed that this amount is insufficient to address the needs of the area.
The use of force. Using military force is obviously a very extreme measure. States, non-state groups resort to this. And the just war tradition is probably the most referred to, most common, probably most respected way of thinking about whether the use of force is justified or not.
The problem is not whether Hamas is there, which is only 20 years old, and the aggression was taking place before Hamas was even found. The problem is just our existence as Palestinians. This is the basic problem for Israel. As long as we're there, we are a threat to Israel. And the only solution is to eliminate us as Palestinians. This is what's going on there. It's a war of elimination.
One of the things that I was struck by when I lived in Israel was how different it was to travel across the border between Israel and the West Bank. So, for example, Israel was very westernized, very well developed, like a European country, and the West Bank was a third world country. There was a big difference because Haifa was quiet, and East Jerusalem there was bombings, assassinations, violence. There's a big, big difference. The United States has the potential to play a large role in promoting peace between the two entities. Palestine isn't necessarily a state. The United States gives Israel a great deal of aid, $3+ billion a year. And so we have a potential amount of leverage. I don't know if we have necessarily the political will to use that leverage. On the inside, instead of being completely a friend of Israel, we could be a friend of Israel and an ear, a sympathetic ear to the other side, and still engaging them, and being able to have a realistic dialogue about peace that isn't just completely one-sided.